Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All Things Football. Of course, yesterday's match was meant to be Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford, which could have seen us put the final nail in their coffin. But due to protests, which were planned and very well known about, went ahead, so the match was postponed. However, today, West Ham beat...
They beat Burnley. They beat Burnley away, yes.
My brain just farted.
West Ham, beat Burnley 2-1 away from home. And also West Brom drew 1-1 in the derby with Wolves. But yeah, I think we'll start with the top four battle because that is really heating up at the moment. You've got Chelsea still not confirmed, Leicester as well, who are third. And then West Ham, obviously, they won 2-1 today. Spurs, Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, and even Aston Villa, all the way up to 10th place, still pushing for top four and European places.
Now, I said to Ibs before the stream started, I'm not 100% sure if this is factually correct, but if Manchester United win the Europa League and Manchester City win the Champions League, then the Champions League qualification spots extend to 5th and 6th place, which means that obviously, as well as Manchester United and Manchester City, the teams all the way down from 5th to, I would say, Aston Villa, I think they're in 9th or 10th, are able to qualify for next season's Champions League. And I personally think West Ham will be able to, will qualify for the Champions League next season. I think it would be great to see because I'm a fan of just different types of clubs in competitions like this. I'm always a fan of an underdog club getting promoted to the Premier League via the playoffs. And this season I'm a fan of, and I'm in support of West Ham possibly qualifying for the Champions League, not just because of Lingard, but because I think it would be a good advert for the Premier League. But it all depends on whether we might get points deducted as well.
Yeah, as you said, obviously because of the protest yesterday, the game was postponed. Fans entered the pitch. There was a minority of fans who obviously broke in and also caused violence to security as well. So obviously the game had to be called off due to security issues. But yeah, if we have a points deduction, it could stop our Champions League progress, and that would just be. The protest was a good thing, but now to have points deduction, I don't think that's fair.
Well, the thing is, in light of the Super League, it's probably not the best place to put the Manchester United in that sort of spotlight because of what our owners did, not our players, not our managers, and not our fans, but because of what the owners did. We're not we might not be the most favoured club anymore in terms of the Premier League or the Football League in England because of what could have possibly happened. So I can see the FA or the Premier League docking us just enough points to prevent us from qualifying for the Champions League or punish us in some sort of way which would make an example of us, which is what usually happens when, not just in football, but when a celebrity commits a crime, they're usually made an example of because it's them. And it's us. We're Manchester United, the biggest club in England and the biggest club in the world. So I'm scared, but I doubt anything would happen because even nothing has even happened with the Super League in terms of consequences. But I don't want to speak too soon because you never know.
Yeah, in terms of the protests, it has definitely sent a clear message. Obviously, the game didn't go ahead, so I'm sure the Glazers would have known this. The game hasn't gone ahead.
Yeah.
So obviously their pockets have been hit. Obviously not too hard, but at least there's some impact, and now they know the fans are not going to stop. And yeah, that was the main point of the protest. And I don't think protests should now just stop because this one thing has happened. They have to continue. Otherwise, we're going to keep going around with the Glazers being here. And to be honest, I don't think the Glazers are going to go, if I'm totally honest. Because obviously Ed Woodward has gone. They're just going to replace him with someone who's just going to be a similar type of person. And the Glazers will just buy... They could just buy someone like a marquee signing, and then everyone forgets. Well, not everyone, but it's like like a majority. Even though the majority, it's weird because Man United have so many fans around the world.
Yeah.
So obviously, just those in England at the moment, and maybe like Scotland, Ireland, came to protest. But then that's only like a section of the like millions of fans we have worldwide. So okay, those fans aren't happy, but for the Glazers, they know there's a worldwide community of United fans. So all they have to do, buy a marquee signing, and then the majority forgets what's happened, and we just move on.
I agree with what you say, and I just want to go back to the point you made about that we can't stop protesting; we have to carry on. I think that I'm not sure the Glazers will have cared too much because, one, I don't think it would have directly impacted them financially too much, and I don't think they care that much about the club because they're not Manchester United fans. I don't think they care that much about the club to think, oh wow, there's a protest going on. We need to either sell or we need to do something about it. Joel Glazer appears to be the spokesman for the family, and I think he's spoken once in well over a decade. They don't communicate with the fans, and I don't think this would have affected them that much. We need to carry on the protest. I'm completely in favor of the protests, the non-violent ones and the violent people and the fans that
you're not in favor of the violent ones. Don't take that message out.
No, I'm not in favor of the violent ones. Those people, those fans, I don't know if they are fans, maybe they're just people from different cities who wanted a bit of fun on a Sunday. I don't know who they were, but those are the people that the papers and the news outlets will target and say this was a dangerous protest. Manchester United should be penalised. People like Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, even Roy Keane, they're in support of the protest because they have Manchester. Well, not Jamie Carragher, but they are Manchester United fans and they understand what we've been through since the Glazers came into the club. They understand why we are annoyed. It's not because we're not winning the Premier League every other year like we used to. That is one of the reasons, but there's a bigger reason behind that, and it's the Glazers. It's because they bought the club on debt. They haven't paid off any of the debt, and they've taken out over 2 billion in dividends and profit just to put in their pockets without actually improving Manchester United, the stadium. They haven't improved the backroom start in terms of people like Ed Woodward. It's a never-ending cycle, and I think unless the protests carry on a regular basis, not once every 6 months, not once every 4 months, but once every few weeks, something that will get the Glazers to notice that then they're not liked and they need to get out of the club. Until that happens, I can't see anything changing. So there needs to be constant protesting. And by that, again, I'm not saying violence. I'm not saying criminal damage. There was a video of a protester throwing a camera, a tripod. That's not going to impact anything. If anything, that's just going to hurt the pocket of a photographer who's there to actually do his job. Those types of things shouldn't happen. We need to even get the government behind things like this because it's bigger than football. But yeah, I just can't wait to see the back of the Glazers.
The thing is, what I don't get is now in the media, it's being portrayed as a violent protest, or the media is now turning against United fans, even though fans are protesting for a good cause. And it doesn't help how there's even journalists who might have been there or who are linked with the club are also saying bad things about the fans, even though they know the intentions of the fans.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, there's like people, there's a journalist who's close to Man U called Sam Luckhurst, you might know him.
Yeah.
But obviously you do journalism. Why do you think journalists do this? Is it just because they want to get their story to the front, or do they just don't care about the club, even though they might be close to the club? They don't care about what the fans' opinion is. If the fans are, obviously the story which sells is the one that fans are obviously angry or they're being violent.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of things. I personally don't know what his genuine thoughts are. I mean, if I got him in a room and I was able to speak to him, then you'd probably find out more. But just from the face of it, one, it's clicks. If you're a journalist and you're publishing articles or content for an outlet, you want your story to get read, so you're gonna write something that's gonna get clicks. I don't know if those are his actual views, but it does make sense in terms of what's gonna get a better viewership. I personally don't know if he's an actual Manchester United fan. Just because you're a Manchester United correspondent or an Arsenal correspondent doesn't mean you're a fan of the club. Maybe he isn't in favor of the protest. Maybe he likes the Glazers. I don't know, but I would say it's mainly down to clicks, because everybody and their dog knows that the Glazers are the main reason behind the protests and behind the reason why Manchester United fans don't like certain aspects of the club. Pundits like Graham Souness and Jermaine Genius, those two in particular, they're they are a part of probably the two biggest outlets, Sky Sports and BBC, respectively. Graham Souness and Jermaine Genius saying that the reason Manchester United fans are protesting like this is because of a lack of trophies over the past few years. That's lazy. They need to do their research. Manchester United fans haven't been just protesting the Glazers over the past 3 years. There's a very, very famous picture. I think it's in 2009 or 2010 when David Beckham played for AC Milan. We played them in the Champions League and he came back to Old Trafford. Obviously, when you come back to Old Trafford as a United legend, you applaud the fans, you go around the pitch, soak it all up. He's wearing the golden green scarf. There's golden green scarves and banners all around the stadium. The fact that David Beckham's wearing that golden green scarf, he full well knows what the scarf is about and who the Glazers are, and the fact that we don't want them there. It goes past our lack of trophies over the past few years. There's so many different reasons why we protest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is just going to be ongoing. It's been ongoing, as you said, for many years. And yeah, we just hope that this time it works. But at the same time, I feel like there's just going to be a marquee signing this summer, and
Yeah,
Glazers are going to stay here. And that's how it's been. Obviously, Pogba a few years ago. This summer probably will be Sancho.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just going to continue. But yeah, I think we'll move on to obviously the top four battle. We'll start with today's game, West Ham Burnley.
Yeah.
Obviously, West Ham won 2-1 away from home. We just checked the goal scorers. Mikel Antonio with 2 goals.
Yep. It was a comeback victory as well. Chris Wood won and scored a penalty. I think it was a deserved penalty, but I think it was a routine victory for West Ham. I don't know how to say it. They're not surprising us anymore. They're a good team. They're a good team with a manager who's had a career, who made his career with Everton, pushing for 5th and 4th. I think he got 4th once. I don't think they made it into the Champions League proper, but this is what he's good at. This is his level. And again, every time I see West Ham play, apart from if they're playing us or City or Liverpool or teams like that, I expect them to get the win or at least get a draw. It's something which I'm just not surprised. I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, now obviously the win today puts them in 5th place, literally 3 points behind Chelsea.
Yeah.
In 4th. And yeah, how many games to go? I think it's 4 games to go. And yeah, West Ham are definitely, as you said, if City and United both win, or even just one of us wins the European trophies, then West Ham are in the best position to get Champions League football. And it'll be amazing to see them in the Champions League, because as you said, seeing different teams in the Champions League it just shows how strong the Premier League is as a league. You wouldn't in La Liga, in Bundesliga, in Ligue 1, you're not seeing like teams like this, like West Ham, just getting Champions League football, because always the same teams in those leagues. Whereas the Premier League, one season you can see Sheffield, the end of like last season, they were like top 10. Now this season we're seeing West Ham almost getting Champions League. So it's very unpredictable, and the strength in the teams are just so much greater than all these other leagues in Europe. Yeah,
but I think with West Ham, they are a contender for Champions League qualification. That leaves us with a problem, I think. We are heavily linked with Declan Rice. I want him. I know a lot of United fans want him. Some people don't, which is fair. Football is based on opinion. But if West Ham were to qualify for the Champions League, do you think that as a West Ham vice captain, he came through the youth academy part of it, do you think he'd stay and think, I want to play for West Ham in the Champions League?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. If West Ham get Champions League, let me put myself in Declan Rice's shoes. I've just come up through the academy. I'm now vice captain at like 22 years old, and we're going to the Champions League. Do I go play Champions League with Man U or play Champions League with this club where I could be captain?
Yeah.
Well, he will be captain if he's on the pitch and Mark Noble's not on the pitch.
Yeah.
So for him, I'd say I'd stay like a season, play the season in Champions League at West Ham. If you just see how far you get, obviously see if you can get there next season, and then if not, you just move on.
But do you think there's do you think there's a risk of him ruining football? Is, especially with transfers, you have windows of opportunity. If he doesn't move to Manchester United or Chelsea this summer, who probably both will be playing in the Champions League next season, and he stays with West Ham, and say he doesn't have the best Champions League form, he might take that form into the league, and all of a sudden, oh, we don't want him anymore. Chelsea don't want him anymore. And now he's at West Ham until he's 26. I think, yes, from a sentimental point of view, you would stay at West Ham, but I think footballers are more intelligent now. They have agents who, even though there are some not so popular and not so good agents, they will have good advice coming towards given to them. I think even if West Ham do qualify for the Champions League, they will try and get as much money as possible for Declan Rice because they know he's probably on the way out, and they will spend that money wisely, like they have in recent times with Soufal and Thomas Souček, and replace him adequately for Champions League football, I think.
Yeah, I think that is the best option, especially with the Euros this summer. Maybe West Ham may wait for the end of the Euros to sell him.
Yeah.
Because obviously his price will probably go up during the Euros. And I heard with Dortmund, they're actually looking to sell Sancho before the Euros. I think it was 75 million for Sancho. But yeah, Tottenham yesterday, 4-0 win, Sheffield. Gareth Bale hat-trick. And yeah, Tottenham, 6th place. And they're, 5 points behind Chelsea in 4th.
Yeah.
So it's not over for them. Obviously, what's his name? Ryan Mason, their interim manager. Spurs, I don't know.
It's a tricky one with Spurs because they get mocked all the time. They've been laughed at this season. They've had Mourinho, obviously he got sacked. Personally, I didn't realize they were that high on the table. I thought things were much worse in North London. They are in a position which really they should be in, given the rise of Leicester, who are a better team, I think, with a better manager. Well, better manager now, not when Mourinho was in. I don't think Brendan Rodgers is better than Mourinho, but Tottenham shouldn't be in the top 4. They're not a top 4 side. They have 2 to 3 world-class players. And I think it's where they should be. I think Mourinho was fired prematurely.
You don't think Tottenham are a top 4 team?
I don't think Tottenham are a top 4 team. They're a top 6 side, but they're not a top 4 team. You've got Liverpool, who definitely are a top 4 team, regardless of what they've done this season. Manchester United, Manchester City, and I'd say Chelsea, because I think they have a better team and they have a better coach. I think that is the top 4. Tottenham.
You're neglecting Leicester.
Yeah, I don't think.
You don't think Leicester are a top 4 team?
Yeah, because they haven't finished in the top 4.
That is actually true.
Yeah, they haven't.
I forgot Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester got knocked off the top 4 last day of the season last year. That's fair enough, and I think the same will happen this year. I don't think Leicester are getting top 4 this season.
You think?
For some reason, I think they're going to bottle it again. I can see them doing that.
I think it's easy to say given what they've done before, but I think this season they're in a much better position to actually stay in the top 4. Whether they finish 3rd or 4th is a different question, but I can't see them bottling it again.
Yeah, I know Kelechi Iheanacho's in form. However, they're just dropping points. They played against Southampton, who had 10 men, and they're drawing 1-1 to 10 men. Those kind of games, you can't be dropping those 2 points, especially in the battle for top 4. And the fact that they're dropping points there, I think going along for the next few games, few games of the season, I can see them dropping more points as well. Let's check who they actually who their fixtures are. So I'm pretty sure they play us, don't they? Yeah, they play Newcastle, United, Chelsea, Spurs.
They've got tough games.
Telling you, they're going to drop points. They might beat Newcastle. They could beat us, but I don't think they'll
I
beat
don't.
us.
It's a game
Chelsea will
at home.
win. We're at home to Leicester. They're away to Chelsea, so I see Chelsea winning that. And then their last game of the season is at home to Spurs. So
Yeah,
this is what I mean. Leicester, I don't see Leicester getting top 4.
now that you've told me their fixtures, yeah, yeah, they're not a top 4 side. I didn't think they were a top 4 side anyway, but maybe we could be talking about Leicester and Liverpool getting those extra qualification spots because they've dropped out. If Leicester drop out of the top 4, who do you think is going to replace them? Because Chelsea will finish in the top 4 this season.
Yeah, Chelsea.
They'll probably finish 3rd.
Chelsea 3rd.
Do you think Liverpool could have a late season resurgence, or do you think West Ham will keep on the good form?
Let me see their fixtures, because Liverpool, obviously they didn't play yesterday, so we still have to play them. And then Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, Crystal Palace. So they could, but at the same time, they have been dropping points, just like when they played Newcastle. They dropped points against Newcastle, even though these are games they should win. This season, Liverpool haven't been obviously beating teams in that way, like last season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's between Liverpool, West Ham, and I wouldn't say Spurs. I think it's between Liverpool and West Ham for the 4th place.
I mean, I'm not a betting man, but I would be very, very tempted to put money on West Ham qualifying for the Champions League by getting the top 4. I can just see it happening. There's always an underdog story in whatever season, league, sport. There's always an underdog story, and it's West Ham this season. I want it to happen. That's why I'm saying it, but I genuinely think it could.
It actually could, and if West Ham get Champions League, I'm definitely going to go watch them at the London Stadium, because under the lights, Champions League football in London, that'll be nice.
Yeah,
a team that can only dream of that is Arsenal.
Yeah, just about to say
that. They won. They beat Newcastle 2-0 yesterday away from home. Newcastle didn't put much up of a fight. I think Newcastle was safe. I think obviously they're 9 points clear.
Yeah, the bottom 3 is just a matter of time. The bottom 3 are gone. Clear.
So obviously they're staying up. But yeah, Arsenal, 9th place. They could, as you said, if City and United were to win the European Cups, then it could go down. Arsenal could still obviously get Europa League place, and Champions League, I think, is a stretch for Arsenal.
They're not.
Their only route is to win Europa League.
Yeah, and
which they will not.
The thing is, I don't think they're going to get to the final. Now that I've considered everything, Unai Emery, Villarreal have a decent squad, and Arsenal's just their form and the fact they're Arsenal. I can't see them getting to the final. But if they were in a one-off match, they beat us. they beat us in a one-off match.
Not in our form at the moment.
I say that because it's Arsenal. When we play against City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool, form is nothing, especially in a one-off match like the Europa League final. Arsenal would never won a European trophy, well, the Champions League or the UEFA. Have they won it? They haven't won a UEFA Cup.
They haven't.
They haven't won the European trophy. That will be the biggest game in every single one of them players' careers. In a one-off match, regardless of how in form we are, I can't see us winning. And it pains me to say that, but it's Arsenal. And we haven't been doing too well against Arsenal anyway. It's always Aubameyang. It's just always Aubameyang and Pepe.
The good thing is they won't be getting to the final, so
yeah.
We'll play Villarreal in the final. Yeah.
Unai Emery's love child. We won't be able to. Either matches in the final is going to be a difficult one.
It will be, yeah. But yeah, going back to the Premier League, Aston Villa beat Everton away from home.
Yeah.
2-1. What do you think about Carlo Ancelotti and his current period at Everton?
Carlo Ancelotti is a world-class manager. He always has been, and I think until the day he retires, unless he goes outside like Mourinho, he will be. He just doesn't have the good quality. He just doesn't have quality players. You're talking about a coach, coached AC Milan, Chelsea, Real Madrid, all to, well, apart from Chelsea, to Champions Leagues and league titles. He's now playing with Tom Davies in the midfield. I say Calvert-Lewin up front. He's good, but he's not great. He's playing with a really, really average side, so I'm not surprised to see Everton like fall off a little bit. Because obviously earlier on in the season, they were never in a title race, but they were at the top. Then they were never in the Champions League race, but now they were fourth or thereabouts. Now they're, I think,
eighth at the moment.
Yeah, they're eighth. And I'm not surprised because of the players he has at his disposal. He's never coached players at this level.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're looking at Real Madrid, Everton. I didn't know how to explain it, but I don't have any problems with him. I don't think it's his fault. It's just he doesn't have the best players, and I think it's as simple as that.
As for Aston Villa, just the way Aston Villa from last season, scraping, not getting relegated last season, to doing what they're doing at the moment without Jack Grealish. Let's remember, he's not even in the team, and I think they're just excelling at the moment. Obviously, they dropped off from where they were at the start of the season, but what they're doing now, Ollie Watkins, obviously he's been in and around the England squad, but I don't know. I don't think Ollie Watkins is the guy who should be chosen. Like, say, obviously we've got Harry Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Watkins, Ings, Greenwood. I think Greenwood has to be on that list of potential players going to the Euros. I wouldn't say Ollie Watkins is a great player, but I wouldn't put him above Greenwood, for example.
It's tricky. They're two different types of players. Ollie Watkins is definitely more physical. He's more of an athlete, I think. Mason Greenwood is more of a technical footballer. Greenwood this season has got 17 goals and assists. 2 seasons in a row he's hitting double figures. I don't think you can look past that. Yes, he didn't have the best start, but there were issues. There were media problems, personal issues, unfortunate suicide of a friend who got released by Manchester City. There were a lot of problems which would have and might have impacted his performances on the pitch. He's a young player. He's going to go through tough spells, but he's really bringing that form back. And I think we're beginning to see the form that we saw at the back end of last season when the Premier League restarted during lockdown. And I think unless Gareth Southgate is still holding on to that disciplinary issue that we had in Iceland, I can see that being the only reason why he doesn't get selected this summer. I think he has to go. I think behind Harry Kane, he's a better finisher than Rashford, better finisher than Jadon Sancho, better finisher than Raheem Sterling. Obviously not Harry Kane. Yeah, but in terms of when you run it, the way I see it, every argument I have, we're talking about strikers. 90th minute, it's 1-1. Who do you want to be finishing that ball? Out of all of those attackers / wingers, obviously I want Harry Kane there. But then second, I'd have Greenwood because he's a natural born finisher and he's shown it for years on years. And I think he has to go to the Euros. And it's not just because he's a United youngster. He's in form. And you take the form players.
And what Watkins offers, which is different to a Harry Kane, a Greenwood, and Calvert-Lewin, is that he stretches teams.
Yeah.
He's obviously, he said that he's an athletic type of player. He wants to make those runs into the channels. He will make those runs to stretch players, teams. Whereas a Harry Kane is not going to make that run. He might drop in a bit deeper. Greenwood could make that run, but we haven't seen him obviously play as a central striker in the number 9 role. He's obviously come off like the right-hand side. So that's what Ollie Watkins does provide. And then compared to Calvert-Lewin, who can operate as a sole number 9, hold up play, aerial threat. So yeah, I think it all depends on what Southgate is looking for at the end of the day, because he could just go with any of those 3. And yeah, it all depends on how England want to play and how Southgate wants to what he wants from his number 9 as well.
Yeah, I think we've seen during his tenure as England manager, he is quite stubborn. He's stuck in his ways. He did change up a little bit with the formation, going from a 5-3 to a more recent 4. I don't know how he's going to play at the Euros, but I can imagine it being a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, which means one striker instead of Kane and then a support striker, which was Raheem Sterling. Greenwood won't start, by the way, guys. We're not saying, Greenwood needs to start on the right or the left or up front. He would be a bench/impact player. But I do think he needs to go. He does. We've seen loads of players in the past go not get minutes and question why they're there. But Greenwood, even if he does go, I don't think he wouldn't get any minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, because taking someone like Ollie Watkins or Calvert-Lewin, they'll go, but I wouldn't see them getting many minutes. Whereas a Greenwood, who is quite unpredictable just because he can use both feet, he's got good technical ability, he can do skills, he can get past a player, beat a man and shoot. I think in a tournament environment, Greenwood is better suited, especially when players are getting tired towards the latter stages of a game. Greenwood comes on, he has a bit of pace, and obviously get past the player and just shoot and score. And I think that's the difference between someone like Ollie Watkins and Calvert-Lewin. And obviously Kane would be the striker who's starting every game.
Yeah. I think something important to note as well with this situation is Harry Kane, you're probably not going to sub him unless, even if he's having a bad game, you never know, because it's Harry Kane. He's capable of the impossible. When we're playing one up front, you're not going to sub off Jadon Sancho for Calvert-Lewin to play on the wing. You're gonna want to play someone who can take Jadon Sancho's place, have fresh legs, and still be able to do what he does. Greenwood is gaining experience. He's not experienced in any way. He's gaining experience playing on the right for Manchester United. That's not his natural position, but he's doing quite a decent job. And I think, as you said, in the tournament situation, it's a one-off. Every game is a one-off game. It's not a league system. It's not anything like that. And anything can happen. That's why underdog stories are so, I guess, common in World Cups, Euros, Champions Leagues, anything. I think Greenwood, I think he'd be perfect. I genuinely think he'd be perfect this summer because of his finishing ability and just actual talent.
Yeah, and I think just having that youth as well, there's excitement about having youth playing your team because they do the unexpected. Other international players don't know how they're going to play because they've never faced them before. They bring something completely new. There's not many clips on YouTube to see how they play. Obviously, maybe now there is more clips of Greenwood, so defenders can study him, but still, not many defenders can stop a player who can go both sides, because that's exactly what Greenwood can do. And I think he should definitely be on the plane.
Yeah.
But on to Chelsea. They beat, what was it? Fulham. Obviously, Fulham probably relegated, beating them 2-0. Kai Havertz, another youngster for Germany, he's definitely going to the Euros. And he's finally started to find his feet at Chelsea. I think that's mainly due to, obviously, Tuchel's arrival. I think Tuchel knows how to use him, and obviously I think his 2 goals on Saturday were great goals. And a great touch from Mason Mount as well from the first goal. And I think people are comparing Mason Mount to Kai Havertz from last season. Obviously, this season Mount has been better, but in the Bundesliga last season, Kai Havertz was just different. He was complete last season. Obviously, Premier League is completely different, but he's starting to find his feet.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't watch the match. I was at work, and obviously because of the social media timeout, I
haven't seen most matches. I was looking for the games. And I was like, I remembered there's this blackout.
Yeah, so I can't comment too much on the weekend's performance of Kai Havertz or Mason Mount, but I know that Havertz has been performing recently at a better level. I would put that down to maybe the German influence. Maybe it's he's getting spoken to in German. It's just little things like that can make a big difference. I know I forget, and when I was younger, I didn't realize until very recently, we're playing in England, we're playing in the Premier League. I kind of just assumed everyone spoke in perfect English on the pitch until I found out that Bruno Fernandes spoke to Pogba in, I think, Italian, speaks to Fred in Portuguese, he speaks to some players in English. You got so many different things going on. Kai Havertz isn't going to be able to understand every instruction that gets shouted at him. When you have a German manager who speaks the same language as you, things might just make more sense. He might be able to make that different run, angle his body differently, and just understand things a little bit better. So I can see that being one of the reasons why he's improved recently. Yeah, he's always a talented player anyway. His talent was never in question.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously thriving at the moment. Timo Werner, another German player, he got an assist as well. So, I mean, Timo Werner is contributing 2 goals, even though he's not necessarily always scoring himself.
Yeah.
He's still getting in positions where he can assist his teammates. So, I mean, for Chelsea, I think Chelsea are going to battle Man City next season for the title. I don't know if I don't think Man U can do it, because I don't think we're going to make the signings we need. Yes, we'll sign a Sancho, but we might not sign a centre mid. We might not sign a centre back, and that's the positions we desperately need. But Chelsea, I can see Chelsea competing with Man City next season.
No,
I can see them recruiting well in the summer, and their squad is already good. Now they have the foundations of a manager. They can just push on from where they are now to battle with City next season.
They have a good squad, yeah. Manchester City have De Bruyne, they have Foden, they have Ederson in goal, the best keeper in the league. Liverpool have Van Dijk, Salah Mane, a bunch of players. We have Fernandes, we have Pogba, we have Edinson Cavani. Chelsea don't have that world beater player. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd say their best player is probably Mason Mount.
But they can easily sign a player like that. That's what I mean.
Maybe I've just missed it, but who have they been linked to? They've been linked to Haaland, but I'm pretty sure he's going to Real Madrid. They definitely 100% need a better goalkeeper if they're going to think about challenging for the Premier League title. Kepa Arrizabalaga, yes, they got robbed of 72 million. He's not the best. Mendy, he's not a keeper you'd have in your team if you want to challenge for the title. If you want to challenge for third spot, yeah, you have him in your team. Reece James, Ben Chilwell, they're good fullbacks, but I can think of a handful that are better. Thiago Silva's good, but he's on the decline. And Rudiger's good as well, but he's not a defender you have if you're. Did he win the Premier League with Conte?
Who, Rudiger?
Yeah. Before I say what I'm about to say.
Not too sure.
Well, if he did, good on him. But now I don't think he's a defender you have in your team if you're going to challenge for the league. I don't agree with what you said about them challenging Man City next season.
Who do you think is going to challenge Man City?
Yeah, it's us. We are. I was looking at the Premier League table earlier. We're looking at first and second. We've lost 4 games each. The other teams, they've lost 9, 10. We are so far ahead. Manchester City are obviously ahead of us, and they're ahead of everybody else. But Manchester United as well, both Manchester clubs, so far ahead of the rest of the league in terms of their quality on the pitch. Yes, we've been through our turmoil stages this season, and we've had our purple patches. But overall, we've had a very, very good season in the Premier League. It's only us two. It's only us two at the top. Yeah, Stuart's right. United will challenge City for the Premier League title next season.
Do you think we will challenge? Because right now we're not challenging. We're just second. We're not challenging.
Yes, I think we will challenge. We are linked to Sancho apparently for about a year, about 14 months. The personal terms have been agreed. It's literally just a fee. So I hope that we do actually confirm that signing. Pau Torres seems to be the one name that is just popping up over and over again. So I think he is a centre-back who will be signing. Because he's tall and because he plays with Villarreal, because he's Spanish, I don't think many many fans understand him. Everyone is under the impression that he's slow, but he's actually quite a quick centre-back. So I wouldn't be too mad if we signed him, but I would prefer Rafa Varane. If we were to sign Varane, I think that's it. The defense is sorted for at least 5 years. It's just I think the CDM is the most important position because we have centre backs. We have Twanzebe, who's proven himself many times. Well, when he plays against the top players, he's proven himself. I think
Eric
it's just the
Bailly.
CDM. I
We
think
have Eric
CDM is the most
Bailly as
important
well.
position. Yeah, we have centre backs. It's just whether or not Ollie can break that obsession he has with Maguire and Lindelof, which I
But
think
yeah,
will be a struggle for him.
the thing is, we will sign like a Sancho and maybe said like a Pau Torres as well. However, we're not going to challenge City. We're going to be not even going to be close. We're going to be like how it is this season. I feel like
No, it's
we're
going
not
to
going
be
to
closer.
challenge them. We might beat them a few times in the league or whatever, but we won't challenge them. City, as you said, their bench is crazy. They played Crystal Palace on the weekend, 1-2-0, playing their second team.
They had made
It
him
didn't
make
even
7
look.
changes.
It didn't even look like their second team. They were resting players like Foden, all these players to play in the Champions League this week. That's the difference. We can't do that.
Yeah,
And I don't
don't
know if we'll be able to do that even next season.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if we sign Sancho and a centre back, we're going to win the league. I'm not saying that in the slightest. But we've drawn 10 games this season, and in many of those matches, we've just struggled to break down a low block.
Low block, yeah.
We just haven't looked convincing because I say this every episode, but no offense to Dan James, but he's just not a player that you have when you want to win the league. He's not a player that starts when you want to win the league. He's a good bench player. He's a good squad player. When you want to play a certain type of way, one of the fastest players I've ever seen, and that's his game. He's effective, but you want Sancho. You want maybe someone like Rafinha at Leeds. It's that type of difference which will take us from 10 draws down to 5, and then instantly that's 10 more points. It's little things like that, because I know we have a good squad and we have Fernandes and he's been carrying us for all of this time. Maguire's getting better. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw are getting better. Henderson seems to be, well, apart from the match against Burnley, seems to be playing in that role quite well. We have Cavani, who's committed his future for the next season at least. So we have a good base. We have a good team. It's just that those two players, Fred or McTominay, and then Dan James, we just need to improve on that. And then, as I said, those 10 draws go down to 5. Those 4 losses maybe go down to 3. 13 more points. Yes, Man City will win the league next season, but remember, Liverpool will be better next season as well. Chelsea will be better. So it's just we have to keep up with them as well as maintaining that distance that we have and close the gap on Manchester City. There's so many things and so many differences that just 1 or 2 players can make, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to hope, because I don't want to get too excited that Sancho will come because of what happened last season. You know, we've got Dan James, so
yeah.
I mean, Dan James will probably start this week, obviously, because we're basically in the final. Hopefully, we see Amad Diallo as well. The final game was obviously Brighton-Leeds. Brighton won 2-0. As I said, Leeds are just like an up and down team.
Yeah,
Their style of football is entertaining, but they don't really win many games. Danny Welbeck, ex-Man United player, I don't know if you saw the game, but the ball was actually in the air. Yeah, his touch and finish, that was learnt at Carrington.
Welbeck for the Euros.
Imagine, but yeah, I think you just have to look ahead to this week. Tomorrow, obviously, PSG away to Man City. They're obviously 2-1 down. I'm here ripping the shirt. We need Paris in the final, but it's looking unlikely. I don't see City losing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday, Chelsea at home to Real Madrid. It's 1-1. Chelsea with the advantage of the away goal. What's your predictions for that one?
I don't know. I can't really think of an actual score, but I don't think Chelsea will be able to progress. I think Real Madrid, with their history, their players, their manager, their affiliation with this competition, it's a Real Madrid pass to the final.
And yeah, then obviously on to Thursday, Arsenal at home to Villarreal. Was it 2-1 they're losing in that leg? And obviously they got an away goal, which is good. So it's not all over for them. And then Man United away to Roma with a 6-2 lead.
6-2, man.
6-2.
Can't get over
Yeah.
that score.
So yeah, I think Man U are in the final at the moment. Obviously, it's on to Arsenal whether they can meet us in the final. But yeah, it's going to be a good week. We're doing the watch along again Thursday.
Yes, we should be. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do watch along for those 2 games in Europa League. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yes, we have new content coming as well. We have an ATF challenge. Accuracy, touch, and finish. This is a real life football video, so you're going to see us get out of these seats, and obviously you guys can get involved as well. And yeah, follow us on Instagram at atfootball_ to find out more information about it. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you.